an awesome feeling. It is really good when your child or your children, they accomplish their dreams, and then you're a part of it. You know, for Michael and I, we were like Bonnie and Clyde, right? Because his dad died when he was young, but he wasn't really a part of his life. So I had the opportunity, or my job was to be his mom and his dad. So I had to be the provider and also the nurturer, and I had to be the person who helped him to realize his dream. And it was just so funny. I didn't even know he was that good, because growing up in Jamaica, you know, you stuff the newspaper in the creamer boxes, the milk boxes, and you just kick it up and down the street. But when he came here, he had so much energy, and the teachers were saying that he had ADD, had to put him on meds. And, you know, I did, because as a young mom, you don't know what's, you know, good for your kid. So I did, and I didn't like the person he was. You know, he was like a zombie. He was focused, but he was sleeping all the time, and he never interacted. And someone said, put him in sports. And so I put him in basketball, and he excelled. He made all-star. I mean, it was so good, but then basketball ended, and I was left with this kid with so much energy and nowhere to put it. And I put him into soccer, into football. And it was so weird. He was tall, he was fast, he was strong. I had to walk with his ID because he was doing so well that parents and coaches from the other teams were like, oh, referee, you need to do an ID check. So I always had to show his ID. I remember Michael was 12. He played U16. He scored 9 goals in one game. As he progressed, I mean, I was poor. I didn't have any money. I remember he had one pair of Adidas that it smelled so bad that it had to stay outside of the apartment. We had to stuff it with newspaper. He was so good that other parents offered to pick him up for training, pick him up for games, offered to pay the fees for him, bought him shoes. So, you know, he progressed, he did well. And, you know, I am just happy that I was actually there from the beginning and a big part of who Michael is today. Other kids had their parents. And so I think football is one of those activities that allow you to meet people and see what you have and what you're actually missing. And I was a mom, and then you had the moms and the dads. But we were so fortunate that we were in a great group of people, like every level that Michael played, we had good, you know, families. And they took Michael in. I mean, he spent nights. He went on trips. They took him to places. They treated him well. So before, when he didn't have a dad, he had my brother, he had my friends and my cousins, but he didn't have that father figure. And some of the coaches and parents of other players actually stepped in and kind of, kind of filled that void for Michael. I mean, he's fun. If you know him, he's funny, he's smart, he's quirky, he's grumpy at times, but he's an awesome person. And I think because we have that good relationship, I mean, we are in the same space, but we can coexist. Even though we have that huge age gap, we still have something in common. We talk about football. We know the same people, so we have a good time. He took me around. Well, this time I was doing all the driving because he couldn't drive. So we went places. He took me places. I mean, he buys anything I want, he'll buy it. I try not to have him buy stuff. Mm-hmm. But teammates, they're awesome people, the coaches, the owners. I got to see the facility. Leon Bailey even gave us tickets to come see him play versus Porto, I think it was. Michael has a rough side to him, where for me, some things don't bother me, some things do. And I do remember when he was younger, when he was playing in academy for DC Academy, a player called him a monkey. And he looked at me, he was like, did he call me a monkey because I'm ugly or what? So I had to explain to him why he was, why the person said what he said. And so we realized that it's a part of life. It shouldn't be, but we don't react to stupidity. And I think Michael will be able to control himself or know what to do when that situation arises. But it's a part of the football. What are you going to do? Injuries. I think injuries for every professional player, a professional athlete, is one of the most worrisome things. You don't know how serious it can be. It can be something as simple as what happened to Michael, where he had to have a screw put into his ankle, as it could be something as serious as what happened to 𝗗𝗢𝗡 when he had the seizure on the pitch. So it's worrisome. That's my problem, and the fact that if he's so far away, how quickly can I get to him to assist? Normal is relative. So I do think I live a normal life. I have a regular 9-to-5 job. I have a 12-year-old who he hates all things sports related. When Michael was playing and he was a baby, we would take him everywhere. He would be on the sidelines. He'd be running around saying, kick the ball, MJ. So I think it's overkill for Chaz. Chaz is more like a computer person. I'm a U.S. soccer referee, part-time. So I think it's normal to a point. I'm also like his momager. I have to be shipping cars from here to there, help him packing up apartments, managing investments, managing his money. In November, I was in Puerto Rico with my company. We were doing hurricane relief help, and we got a break, and I went to the casino, and I was on the casino floor, doing the penny slots, and his agent called me. It was on Saturday, and his agent called me. He says, Michael needs to be in Germany by Monday. And I'm sitting on the floor. I'm like, okay, what time? And with the time difference, it was just crazy. He needs to be there for a trial on Tuesday, and this is Saturday. And I just had to sit on the floor in the casino and get Michael's ticket, get Michael all situated. So that's part of my normal life, just to get stuff done. So I'm a mom, a momager, and also a wife. I could easily say the hat trick with Orange County versus St. Louis in the USL Championship playoffs. But I will say it was that goal against Serbia when he played for Jamaica. All my friends and family, we were behind that goal, the same goal that he scored in. So I think that, and because he was so young, so I think that's my best recollection of Michael playing. Listen, he is so active. My sister, she went with the Jamaica, because she's a coach. So she coaches for St. Jago High School, and she's also in the JFF pool of coaches. She went to China last year with the U15 girls. And so she started a football academy that was completely run by Michael. He outfitted everybody. They got jerseys, shoes, money. Even now, he gives care packages to the elderly. I mean, they know him. So if you go home and you ask for Michael Seaton, people are going to be like, oh, MJ. So everybody knows him as MJ, but he's still a part of the community. He's not a stranger. So he is just comfy. He fits right in. Listen, he drives me crazy sometimes. Sometimes he's talking and I cannot understand the word he's saying. His patois is so deep. As a parent, I think sometimes when we listen to our kids talk, we think that dream might be a little bit frivolous, but I do think that we have to believe in their abilities, believe in their judgment, and just be strong supporters of whatever they want to do, whatever path they want to take, and just listen. And then we also need to realize that we have to separate business from personal, and we have to make sure that we realize that not every opportunity is the best opportunity. So we have to be smart. We are going to make mistakes. We're going to make, big boo-boos. But it's just how you deal with the boo-boos after. I can give you an example. In Israel, he went to Israel, and he will tell you Israel was a decision that he should not have made. His opportunity to go to France to play. And at the last minute, the deal fell through. And I remember at 1 a.m. he called me. He was bawling. I mean, like crying. I swear snot was running down his nose. Like he was just crying. And I wanted to cry and I wanted to hug him, but I couldn't. And I remember telling him, I was like, you have to stop. I said, you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. You have to be the strong Black man that I'm raising you to be. And I want you to continue to do what you're doing. So I tell parents all the time, if you don't know your true worth, how do you expect someone else to know it? And so we have to find a way where we protect our kids and we support their dream.